Yeah.
It's too warm.
Yeah.
They don't have to come this far south.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. You're going to notice she looks like an adult now. She's 7. She's got that nice, bright, rusty red tail that red-tailed hawks are. Oh, we have pooping happening. See the feathers puffing up around her legs? Watch in a second, that tail's going to pop up. And there we go. She did not disappoint. Now, if you could come up here and check out her poop in first person, you'd notice there's a bunch of white liquidy stuff. When birds go to the bathroom, that's their number 1. There's also some dark chunky stuff in there too. That's number 2. When birds go to the bathroom, they do number 3, 1 and 2 at the same time. And there we got some number 3. Now, first thing, check out her talons. She has scales all the way to the tips of her toes. Those scales protect her toes if she gets bitten or scratched, acts a bit like armor. So once she's got a hold of it and her prey is dead or near dead, look at her beak. Really sharp along the edges, and she uses that sharp beak to start to rip her prey apart. So basically her feet are glorified forks, and her beak is a knife that she uses to tear her food into smaller pieces. And then look at her eyes. This bird, their vision, it's incredible. She could be up on that light pole, 40 plus feet off the ground, and she can see with the detail to be able to read letters at the eye chart all the way to the ground. And she's looking for mice. She's looking for well-camouflaged mice, rats, chipmunks. Red-tailed hawks are primarily rodent specialists. They will go after other things like squirrels. Adult rabbits tend to be a little big for them. They will go after waterfowl with ducks, mallards. That's probably the biggest prey that they'll catch. Well, besides chickens. These birds have the nickname of the chicken hawk. They tend not to go after chickens right away, but if they're a little hungry, and they're like, I'm going to give it a go, and they win, and they figure out chicken's delicious, like we figured out. Then you have a red-tailed hawk that learns you're going to go after chickens. But they tend to be a rodent specialist, and it's one of the reasons why they play a very important role in our environment. Even as a chicken farmer, they're helping control rodent populations. Now, for as big as this animal looks, if you could hold her on your arm here, she only weighs 3 pounds. We weigh all of our birds in grams. And to think of a gram is simply a paper clip. Okay? So this bird weighs, I weighed her yesterday. She weighed in at, what did she weigh? 1,500 paper clips. Which is about 3 pounds. Those bones will stabilize her head, maybe. She's not too busy looking on what's going on behind her. There you go. And she does it or not do it based off of her own. Right? So she'll freeze her head when she sees that mouse, even if her body is moving, even while she's flying. Let me see if she'll show you this way. She's done it a little bit. But imagine those wings flapping, her body bouncing around, her head stays still. So she will always keep in sight her lifeline, that well-camouflaged mouse that she needs to catch and eat. When we turn her around here, they tend to have a dark back, and of course that rusty red tail if you can see it. Notice right away when I get her out, look at her feet, her talons. Her talons are adapted differently than the hawks. They're long and thin. And the function of those talons is to get through feathers and grab onto the body of the prey she's trying to catch. Turn her around here so you can see. Let's see, before we go any farther, does anyone know what type of raptor this is besides about what species?
Peregrine?
This is your peregrine falcon. And I was told yesterday that you guys have some peregrine falcons nesting around here, which is fantastic. But look at those long, thin toes. Those long, thin toes are meant to get through feathers and grab onto the body of the prey you're trying to catch. Look at those large eyes. Like the hawk, she sees about twice as well as we do. When this animal hunts, she doesn't hunt near the ground. She's not perched on a tree looking for things. They nest on cliffs because when they hunt, they fly up anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 feet up in the sky. That's where they're hunting. And they're looking down on their prey way towards the ground. So this bird right here has the visual ability, while flying, to see another bird, maybe a pigeon, a half a mile away while it's flying. And that's not even the amazing part. When she tucks those long, thin wings and dives, and that dive is called a stoop, she can reach speeds of 180 to 200 miles an hour, while keeping her sight and focus the entire time while it's moving. And she does that because of those bones in her neck, just like the hawk, stabilize her head while she's bouncing around in the turbulence. What you're looking at are a group of animals that are finely adapted to survive in their environment. We could do this program for 5 hours, and I could keep going on and on about all the different things that these animals have to be successful. It's really quite mind-boggling, and it makes my job very interesting because I'm always learning something new. But look at her head. You see right now as she's looking past one shoulder? Our necks limit our ability to move our head. We can go to one shoulder, to the other, we can look up, we can look down, and that's pretty much it. But if I pulled all your neck bones out and put in some raptor neck bones, you can take your head and you can turn it and look all the way behind you without moving your body. If you had the neck bones of an owl, you'd be able to look over your other shoulder without turning your body. You could even take your head and turn it upside down. A lot of times when people look at these birds, they say they look kind of mean or they look angry. Well, have you ever seen someone really focused? And they're really focused in on something, they're looking straight ahead? These birds cannot move their eyes beyond straight ahead. They have little bones above their eyes that act a little bit like my hat does to help block out the glare of the sun. And it oftentimes makes them look like they're staring at something. It's because they are. They don't have any choice. They have to look forward. So if one of these birds is staring you down, it's just because it's looking at you. As it's diving at 200 miles an hour, there's two other really important adaptations it has. One, if I sprayed some water at her right now, she's going to close what's called a nictitating membrane. It's a clear eyelid. That eyelid kind of acts like a windshield wiper, clearing your lens or her cornea of her eye off. But she can also keep that eyelid closed. And because it's clear, it acts as goggles and protects her eyes from air and dirt coming into her face at nearly 200 miles an hour. It has a cone in front of it. Think about the big jumbo jets. You look at the engine, there's a cone in front. Same kind of idea. It breaks up the air, makes the engines more efficient so they can go faster. She has this naturally adapted into her body. Are you ready to eat? I think she's ready to eat. Alrighty, why not? Look at those long thin wings. Think she's excited? Do you see her right wing, the wing closest to me, droops down a little bit? This bird was shot with a shotgun. And that's why she was admitted to the Raptor Center. She's about 14 years old. When she came in, she was x-rayed. Oh, look at that. First thing she's doing, biting the back of the neck. Another characteristics of falcons only. So I'm only talking about falcons, not other raptors. They have a notch in their upper and lower parts of their beak. What they use that notch for is like wire cutters to snap the spine of small birds. First thing she did, breaks the neck. She wants to make sure it's dead. Then, what do you think she eats next? You just got done breaking it. Let's say you're a peregrine. You got done breaking the neck. What would you do next? The head. Specifically, she oftentimes will eat the beak first. Because just in case that bird's not dead, that beak is a potential weapon. Could injure her. You eat it, you don't have to worry about it anymore. Then what would you eat? Brains and eyeballs. Right now she's plucking feathers. Raptors do not need to drink water. They get all the water they need from the food they eat. And what part of an animal is full of water? Brains and eyeballs. So if you came for the gory details, if you see any dark chunky things, those are the eyeballs. Any kind of creamy, liquidy things, well, that's the brains. She's not picky. She's not like us. She's not like, oh, brains, no, I don't need that. One bite. She eats it all. And it doesn't take her very long. Right now, she's kind of going at it half-hearted. If this was a wild peregrine, they eat their prey quickly. Because they want it in their stomach where it's protected. They don't have to worry about someone trying to steal it from them. And if you want to sit really quiet, you can use your hands like this around your ears. And you can focus right under, you might hear some of the bones crunching. If she can't get through those bones, quick, twist of her head, all it takes to break it.